on Point TV is live. Three legends in three different eras that are still unforgettable in the industry. You know what I'm saying? Today I bring you the king of pop, Michael Jackson. I also bring you Purple Rain. That is the man known as Prince Nixon Rogers. Yeah, and also I bring you the king of rock and roll, in other person, as he's known as Elvis Presley, right? These guys were guys that reigned in the 1960s, 70s, 1980s to early 2000. I'm sure most of you weren't born then, but if you were born when Elvis Presley, Michael Jackson, and Prince Nelson Rogers were actually ruling the world, drop it on the comment section. Drop a thumbs up. Just drop a thumbs up. So let me display these guys. Let me just show you these guys, right? We have, this is Michael Jackson, like you know. You can see him on the screen. And we have some, this again is Elvis. This is Elvis Presley. And the other person we have here, is Prince. So here is Michael. Michael was very popular. You already know Michael was really very popular. And here is Prince, the Rain Purple man. This man was also very, very popular. He was the one that sang Rain Purple. Rain Purple. So we'll be hitting down to talk about their history, right? How they made fame during their time. So these guys, I could say, were the people that ruled the history. If not for them, it would really have been very, very... They made it so easy for what it is today, right? So drop on the comment section if you ever knew any of these guys during your time. Did you ever see them? Do you know them? Drop it on the comment section, right? So like I said before, this is Prince Rogers, the Purple Rain man. Okay, and another artist we'll be talking about today is Michael Jackson, the king of pop. Put it down on the comment section if you knew Michael, and tell me particularly his album you loved, his album that you've listened to. He had a lot of albums, so we'll be going to we'll actually delve deep. All right, we delve deep on this artist and the other artists on our weeks. This man was actually the man that brought more about rock and roll. He's the king of rock and roll. Elvis Presley. Yeah, Elvis Presley. He was a great man. Rock and roll music. So put on the comment section if you ever lived during this time when those people actually were on the reign. So Prince actually was a genius in instruments. Prince was actually a genius who played a lot of instruments in his time. Let me just drop some things Prince did. Like you see this guy, he's called Prince. The man could dance even with 4 heels of shoes. He was dancing so crazily. You understand? He was a powerful entertainer. You could see what he does. He was a very powerful entertainer with so much energy, so much artistic power. When he was no more, the people could not, stop thinking about Prince because he did exploitly. Yeah. So that is Prince for you. And we'll also bring on stage most of his performances, right? So this is another performance of Prince while he was crazy with the guitar. I think you could see Prince here. So you see Prince playing the guitar so massively. You understand? Right, so I don't know if you've come across this young man. He reigned during the time, at the time, 1980s. And to early 2000, he was still on the reign. So this man is known as Purple Rain, and his biological name is Prince Nelson Rogers. So we keep pushing. Now, most musicians mastered one instrument, but one good thing about Prince is that he is so good at all instruments. He's not just a musician, but he was skilled in guitar, vocals, songwriting, stage performance. This guy was indeed so endowed. Now, let me bring to the play when Prince was actually doing some great stuff with his guitar. And at the time also, he was also playing multiple instruments. He was playing multiple instruments together. That is why in his own era, he was never forgotten. Prince was never forgotten because he actually did great things. You can see here Prince playing guitar. He played guitar, he danced. He's a good vocal artist. In his time, he was quite endowed. Now, Purple Rain wasn't just an album, it became an atmosphere. It became an anthem. Okay? Purple Rain, during his time, was what Prince could sing, and when he mounts the pulpit, when he mounts the stage rather, everyone sings along with him. So Prince fought for artist ownership before it became mainstream conversation. Right? I'm playing Purple Rain just because of so here is also Prince doing great things. You see so much energy. He could dance with so much energy. Yeah, so during his time, he mastered the stage. He danced with so much energy. He's a singer, a dancer, at the same time, a master craft in all instruments. He was a master craft in all instruments. So, Prince Rogers was actually very powerful in the industry. This was also one of his stops. This is where you will see Prince playing guitar. We've seen him playing guitar. Now we've seen him playing keyboard. And again, we're also seeing him playing musical bands. You could see him playing bands. So this guy was really multi-talented. Put on the comment section if you knew this guy earlier before now. Prince Rogers Nelson. So Purple Rain wasn't just a song, like I said earlier. As a matter of fact, there was this time Purple Rain even owned a music. Purple Rain owned a music. You could see the performance, the crowd always with him, people always joining and people congratulating this guy for his massive deeds. So here is Prince Rogers doing what he knows how to do best. So that was actually one of his performances on the Super Half Ball. Yeah, let me just welcome everyone. Welcome, welcome. Welcome you all. Drop a thumbs up if you like this documentary. Now, this documentary, all rights is actually solely belonged to the owners of the videos. All right. So we're just using this for documentary purpose, for entertainment purpose, and also to inspire as many persons out there that really would love to, that would really love to be inspired. You get? So we take no privilege for granted. We take no privilege for granted. So Prince taught artists that originality is power. Prince taught artists that originality was actually powerful. We could see that in his performance. This was also one of his works. Yeah, this is Prince's work while he was on the studio trying to work things out. So this man wasn't a just man. He worked hard and, he actually break through because he was persistent. He was determined. He was really persistent and he was determined. So guys, this is Prince. The story about Prince Rogers Nelson. You can check on the internet to know more about this man whom talks more about originality. So Purple Rain was so very popular that it was used as a movie. And here is the movie, Purple Rain movie. We could see the movie here. You could see the smile on Prince's face. Yeah, that's how we roll. So hope you're enjoying this documentary. I believe you're enjoying our broadcast today. Drop a thumbs up. Welcome everyone. Yeah, welcome, 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 welcome. Welcome on this channel on Point TV. Drop your highs. Drop a high. Yeah, so going further, this is another performance of Prince here. This is another performance of Prince. So we actually muted the sounds because of the copyright infringements. We don't want to be, won by YouTube. So this was the wonderful performance of Prince here. So right, guys, in the industry, it's more about determination. It's more about consistency. The industry is more about persistence. Nobody actually made it once. They grew over time and they kept pushing, and that was how they made it possible. You understand? So nothing good comes easy, and we could hear that from Prince. Now this was when Prince was actually present in one of the Super Bowl performance. I think this performance was the late performances he did before he passed on. Like I said, some of us aren't going to be knowing, won't have seen these people for the first time. Yes, some of us won't have seen them for the first time, but I bring you these guys so we could learn together, so we could, analyze history, go back to history. History is actually part of life. History is actually part of life. So that is what it is, and we are here to entertain you fully. Yeah, so if you take a look at the pace this man has set in time past, you will agree with me that they were actually the people that made it easier for this new millennium, this new dispensation of people to now achieve to this great height. This time there were no good studios, but they just kept pushing. That is what it means towards believing in yourself. No matter the odds, you just got to believe in yourself. You understand what I'm saying? Take a look at this job. Take a look at this performance. Wow, you could see this guy is so energetic. He was so very good in his performances. Thumbs up for Prince, right? Tell me you love this guy. If there is any of his songs you ever knew before now, put it on this comment section right now. So you could see Prince here carrying out you see Prince and his team. They are rehearsing, making people happy all night, all day. They keep pushing. Yeah, so next on our timeline, we'll be talking about Michael Johnson very soon. I know a lot of people has waited to hear about Michael. So Michael is the next on the list, and we'll be talking about Michael very soon, right? Yo, welcome to On Point TV. So, guy, this Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. I'm going to be talking about him later. All right. Still on Prince. You Don't Need to Lie. This was when he performed one powerful song, You Don't Need to Lie. This is Prince performing. Can you say hi? Can you say hi if you're enjoying this episode? I just want you to say hi. So this is Prince. Now, this guy is a master craft in all his instruments. He wasn't just an artist. He entertained. He is a good singer, a good dancer, and he's a good vocal, a good instrumentalist. Take a look at Prince doing so much things. Check it out. You could see at over 2 minutes, he was just doing the rubber band leg stretches. Hello, 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 hello. Yeah, we win together. This is why I'm bringing you all these updates. Okay, very quickly, while we bring Prince to close, I don't know how many of you knew Prince or you've heard about him earlier. All right.
Albums.
One of the time, 2015,
albums.
Why he actually won the album of the year.
Like books and Black Lives.
He was there.
Still matter.
It was a shout out. Yeah, this was where he won 2020 album of the year. You get what I'm saying? All right. And lastly, somehow he got sick and he was diagnosed of pills. He was taking so much of painkillers because doing all those stage performances with so much energy made him to take a lot of painkillers, and as a matter of fact, it actually affected him to an extent. But they wanted to do him surgery, but as a witness, Jehovah's Witness, it's against his faith, so he didn't really accept that he undergoes surgery. He just decided to remain private. But regardless, he was born legend. He died in the past, and that is just what it is. So far, he made a name for himself, so he has taught a lesson about originality. Now, Prince told us about perfection. Okay, Michael Jackson told us about perfection. Prince told us about freedom. It was Prince that taught people how to own the master record of their songs. That's the Purple Rain. Prince Rogers Nelson, he was one that taught musicians how to own their own song. Okay, now this was actually where he actually had an interview. Prince was interviewed, and if you check this particular play, he was actually interviewed here, and he was just showing them the teams, the team of his band. See, the industry might leave you because you're too bold. Prince was actually very too bold, but he feared nobody. He was bold and he stood his ground. And he moved on. If you're talented, the industry may want to silence you. Sometimes those musicians, they are not paid, but they only gain royalties, ambassadorship deals. These are what helped them to, make money. but their record label virtually owns everything. Their record label owns everything when they are being signed in. So this was where Prince actually rose and he moved on. He said he actually wants to own his label. He wanted to own his label. So Prince fought for artist ownership. It became mainstream conversation. If not for a person like Prince, then it wouldn't really have been easy. You understand what I'm saying? So that it is. That is just it. I love the guy. Now, this was actually a tribute of Prince. Okay, this was his last performance. The guy, like I said, you see the crowd, he pulls a lot of crowd, and he's quite an amazing artist. He's quite an amazing artist. Yeah. So that is it. And while we bring this guy to close, so the night, everyone, the night of Purple Rain, the night where everyone gave tributes to Prince Nelson Rogers. This was the night. So this was the night. Now very quickly, let's talk about the king of pop. The man who lived. And even when he's late, we will still talk more about him. We want to talk about the story of MJ, Michael Jackson. Michael Jackson sold over 600 millions of albums, of his records. And he was the first ever artist to make $3.5 billion. Michael Jackson is an artist that is yet to be replaced. So great, so massive. Michael Jackson was the... Now, before social media, before streaming, before the internet connected the world, there was a man who already owned the entire planet. Michael Jackson is that man. Michael Jackson wasn't just a star. He became a global phenomenon. The king of pop changed music, dance, fashion, and fame itself. Let's take a look at some MJ performance. You will marvel. You will marvel. Man, you will marvel at MJ's performance. This is Michael. This is Michael. You see the crowd. A man that can pull millions of people in one show, in one night. That's MJ. So, we'll be talking more about Michael today. You understand? And let me quickly show you one performance that caught my mind about Michael. Let me show you this guy. Here's Michael. Yeah, Michael he learned this moonwalk and he owned it. Michael he learned moonwalk and he owned it. So he wasn't just an artist. He was an artist with so much grace. Michael was obsessed with his profession. Professionals are not made overnight. They are made through hard works. Professionals are made through hard works. You understand? Tell me one of Michael's song or album you know. Tell me one of Michael Jackson album you know. Tell me your best Michael Jackson song. Your best Michael Jackson song. Yeah, so drop it on the comment section. Tell me your best Michael Jackson song. So this is Michael at 5 years. This is Michael at 5 years. You see Michael at 5 years? Yes, Michael at 5 years. When he was very young, he was so skillful, so talented. Michael was quite an incredible person. Quite an incredible God gift. So we could also check the moonwalk. Let's take a look at this here. You see the crowd. The man that owned the stage. When you see the dance, he owns the stage. Michael owns the stage. Right? He sang one song called Billie Jean. You know, he also released an album called The Thriller, and he danced, squeezed so much. He released the Bad album, I think. Yeah, and he went to so many tours. He traveled around the world with all his songs. Took him a lot of places. You understand? So that is what talents could actually help achieve. You know. Now, where were you when you first heard a Michael Jackson song? Drop it on the session. Where were you when you first heard about Michael Jackson's song? Drop it on the session. Drop it where you were. Where were you when you first heard about Michael Jackson's song? Drop it on the comment section. Show us some love if you have yet to subscribe to this channel. Updates. Yeah, do so for more updates, right? Let's take a look at this performance by Michael Jackson. This is the moonwalk. Michael Jackson's moonwalk. Wow. So interesting. That is Michael. Michael doing what he knows how to do best. So that is just what it is. And Michael, actually, I Want You Back was one of the songs, you know, that made him travel places. I Want You Back. So even as a child, Michael moved differently, sang differently, performed differently. It was obvious. the world was witnessing something very real. It was quite obvious that the world was witnessing something very real. Okay, right now, let's make this session interactive. It's engagement time. I want you to drop on the comment section which one of these Michael's songs you have listened to and it resonated with you. ABC, I Want You Back, Rocking, Ruben, and Ben. Which one of these songs of Michael Jackson have you listened to? ABC, I Want You, Ruben, and Ben. Drop it on the comment section. Drop it on the comment section. One of Michael Jackson's songs you actually loved or you've listened to. Guys, let's do this. So let's bring to stage again who we're talking about. Here is Michael, the king of rock, the king of pop. Here is Michael. Michael, the king of pop. This is the person we're talking about. In case you don't know him, he's Michael Jackson, born into the family of Joe Jackson. And they did a lot of great things together. Him and his siblings, they were all singers. Though he was little, but he did great jobs. He was fantastic with what he knows how to do best. Yeah, and this again is the second person we're talking about, Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. The king of rock and roll. Yeah, when TV were still black and white, these were the people that was pushing the industry. Now followed again, we just talked about Prince Rogers, the Purple Rain Man. We just talked about Prince Rogers, the Purple Rain Man. Right, guys? So still on Michael Jackson. Still on Michael. Michael was recognized all over the world. Take a look at this performance by Michael. Take a look at this. Take a look at the crowd. People were just shouting, "We love you, we love you, we love you." This is Michael doing great jobs. Wow, wow, wow. Awesome, awesome. So, we move on. We're here to drop on the session what you love about Michael. Then came Thriller, and suddenly music videos were no longer videos, they became cinematic events. Michael Jackson made music videos to become cinematic. It was as if when you were watching him dance on the stage, you were in the cinema. That is what perfection can do, because he was so obsessed with his profession. Take a look at this. Here is Michael. Wow. You see that? You see that? You see the move? You see the shaking? Yeah, Michael was actually doing great jobs. Michael was actually doing great jobs. Yeah. He was, Now, let's talk about his fashion. One good thing about Michael is that he didn't just go into music. He made music a business. He branded himself. He was one with he owned a special glove. He owned a special trouser, a special costume. Michael was really quite amazing. Now, people were even fainting. This was when people were fainting, collapsing in Michael Jackson's show. These are the medical team taking people out of the place to, make them feel better. Michael Jackson was indeed a great personality in the industry. No wonder he was called the king of pop. And nobody has actually beaten that record. Nobody has ever beaten the record. He didn't just perform songs. He created emotional events. The entire stadium cried before even he sang a note. The entire stadium cries even before he sang one note. So let's also see this performance by Michael Jackson. This is the moonwalk. You see people dancing to his songs. This was a man that didn't just sing song. He moved the stage. He owned the stage. He owned it. He did a lot of things that till now people are yet to forget his fame. They hired the fame. But that's just the problem. They hired the fame. The heavier pressure becomes. Behind the glitter was a man carrying unimaginable attentions. There is pressure at the top. All right. I love this family that brought forth their child, and in a way that, it looks more like Michael Jackson. I love this family that was trying to train their child to look more like the Michael. You could see the play, right? You see the guy learning the moonwalk thing, trying to master his own trade to be like Michael Jackson. So if you love Michael, put it on the comment section. Drop it here on the comment section. Tell us how much you love him. Tell us what you've missed about him. Right? So this was also something that made us love Michael. Can you take a proper look at this substance against gravity? For real, nobody. I've not seen anybody did this. Michael broke history. You saw the substance. He broke science against the force of friction. Was a man doing great things. Michael did a lot of great things because he practiced day and night. He actually confirmed to us that it wasn't just about talent. Aside being skillful, he built himself to become greater. All right. So we moved on. This was also another emotional art I loved so much about Michael. This was an emotional art I loved about him. You saw the crowd, you saw everybody chanting. Johnson. Drop on the comment section so much love for Michael Johnson. Nobody has ever broken his records. I think even in football, they had a lot of genius. But in this music industry, nobody has actually broke the record of Michael Johnson. You understand what I'm saying? Yeah. So that is what it is. Talent isn't easy to build. Talent isn't easy to build. So, here is Michael doing some lovely things. Shown. So Michael also was, this is Michael with his family. The Jacksons. The Jacksons. See the Jacksons. Let me take it off for you guys. See the Jacksons. So they were all families of great talents. Their father, I think, was just good at playing guitar, but he never had the opportunity. So what he did was to invest his time into his sons and began to train them, and that helped them to become so great in the act of music. So guys, drop it on the comment section. Michael Jackson's song you actually loved. You understand? So Michael Jackson may have left the stage, but the stage never recovered from his absence. Michael Jackson may have left the stage, but the stage never recovered from what? His absence. Here was when he visited India. This was when he visited India. You could see military all over the place. Michael Jackson by now would have even been called Sir Michael. To England, Prince Charles actually was the one that stopped the title to be given, the royalty to be given unto him, maybe to reason best known to them as at the time. Yeah, but it is what it is. So as time goes by, we could see Michael began to grow. He grew up, and these are the Jacksons. So you could see that they were actually practicing, they were actually singing, they were actually, their father actually trained them well. That were the Jacksons. But at the point, they actually, went separate ways. But here came the reunion. This was where they reunited after some years of, staying apart. They reunited. And you could see the emotion. You could see the emotion over here. Michael was so emotional. He was crying. But this was tears of joy, because he was happy. Him and his brothers were reuniting again. And that is what it is. So much love. You won't understand until you've been here before. You won't understand until you have been here before. There is no such love that is greater than the love of brothers. And Michael also told us this. You know, one thing I would have really loved more is I wish most of these these artists were depth into they were deep Christians. I wish it would have been so wonderful. But I trust God will show them mercy. Yo, so now let us also take a look at this. Michael was also known for his humanitarian service. Yeah, he was known for his humanitarian service. This was one time he received award. Michael, during his time, owned about 13 awards, and the thriller album gave him 8 awards in one night. The thriller album gave him 8 awards in just one night. In one night. Nobody has broken that record. Except for Kendrick, that has gotten 9 awards now. I think only Kendrick has actually broken the record. Lama, Kendrick, got about 9 awards in one night. But all through the existence, all through the living of Michael Jackson, nobody broke the record. Owning 8 awards in one night. That is marvelous. That is only what skills, hard work, diligence can actually do. This was where Michael was recognized. Michael was recognized here as humanitarian king, and he was given an award for showing love to the world at large, for doing good things. You could see that, right? So Michael was recognized as the king, humanitarian king. Man, put it up for Michael if you love what this man did in his time. It's also a lesson to us that we should give. When you have what it takes, you have enough, always learn to give to the people. Heal the world was a foundation that Michael built, and he began to take care of a lot of sick ones there. But something happened. He was also diagnosed of a disease. Michael was diagnosed. The emotional truth behind Michael was diagnosed of a disease called vitiligo. But that's a skin disease. After all the pressure he faced, eventually he owned a foundation, Heal the World Foundation. And so far, it is what it is. He passed on at 50 years. He passed on at 50 years. Because it's all good. He has made history, and he has set the pace for people to also learn. He has set the pace for others to learn. Alright? So this is Michael as well, showing humanitarian service. Here is Michael showing humanitarian service. You see, showing so much love to the children, to kids. Yeah. You see how children came all around him, and he was just playful. He was just playful to the kids. Michael was playful to the kids. So, Michael actually did great jobs. So Michael actually did great jobs. You understand? And eventually, so like we said, Michael was a humanitarian. This is Michael Jackson showing love to children, to the poor, to the less privileged. He owned the foundation, and the Heal the World Foundation is still in existence. Yeah, so when you have, always give back to the society, give back to your people, give back to the siblings. Just be there. There's one thing you should be forgotten. There's one thing you should be remembered for even when you die. The heart of love, the golden heart you have to give out to people. You should be remembered for that. Michael Jackson has left the stage years ago, but the stage has not recovered from his human services. The stage hasn't recovered from his love, from the world, from the love he's shown to the world. The stage is yet to recover from that, right? Okay, so this was given to Michael Jackson. This was the tribute given to him. So many artists gathered together to celebrate an icon whom passed on at age 50. So guys, you can also be the Michael Jackson of our time. Like we said in the beginning of this video, we are doing this documentary to encourage, to inspire, to educate people, to take us back to history. So if they did these things during their time when technology hasn't even grown to what it is now, it means we can actually do better, right? Your children can do better. You can inspire someone. Always live in the environment to inspire people. You understand? You shouldn't be in an environment and be condemned or condemning people's talents. So if people like Michael Jackson's father and family never encouraged him, he wouldn't have been that so great. So learn to encourage your people, learn to encourage your children. And when Michael Jackson was laid to rest, this was Michael Jackson's final resting place. He was laid to rest at age 50. So guys, one thing we should be very sure about, one thing we should know, okay, that someday we are gonna die. Someday everybody gonna die. No matter your grace, no matter your talent, no matter your skill, you're gonna die someday. So the best thing is live an upright life. Live a life without hurting anybody. Live a life that you'll be remembered for good legacy. You understand? Even if you're dead, or even if you died someday, you remember for good legacy. All right. So we're bringing it to a close gradually to the doorstep as we bring you the king of rock and roll. How many of you knew this man? Elvis. Elvis is his name. Elvis Presley, the king of rock and roll. The king of rock and roll. He was really indeed a powerful singer, a powerful artist. Yeah, so we'll be talking a little more about Elvis Presley today. He was the man that made music so interesting in the 1850s, I think. Yeah, in the 50s, early 50s, he was one of the people that made music to be what? Very interesting. So before there was pop culture as we know it, there was Elvis Presley. He wasn't just famous, he became the first true global entertainment explosion. It was Elvis that actually made music to be global. Rock and roll became so global. So let's talk a little about Elvis. He wasn't just an entertainer. He was a man that moved the stage. This is Elvis. I don't know how many of you had seen this man. Only the people that are still alive in the 1850s. But he didn't really last long. He didn't really stay long. He actually died at the age of 42 years. But he was indeed a great man. Before we knew what was rock and roll. So, would modern social media have made Elvis even bigger? If, for instance, now, I'm asking this question to my audience. If modern social media was at his time, would they have made Elvis bigger? Because even without social media, he was very big. He was a big name in the industry. Because Elvis taught us about how to, speak loudly, take away fear, be bold, and be loud. He so much believed in himself, and that was why he owned the music. So, from a little beginning, he moved on. Elvis sounded different from everyone else. That difference changed music forever. He sounded different from everyone else, and that was actually what changed music forever. You understand? So these are part of Elvis' works. These are part of Elvis' work. So amazing. Elvis is quite an amazing man. So brave. So brave. That was Elvis during his early beginnings. And he did so many things. Let's quickly drop this performance too. He was a man that was known for dancing funny dance. That time there were no much choreographers. So that was why they could dance, they could sing. They were not just singers, they were dancers, because you must dance to entertain your people. They could also sing day night. There were a lot of works put to place then, because nobody could have done it for them. But in this modern world, we have dancers, we have people that sings, and we have people that plays all the instruments. I believe it was lack of these things that actually made Prince Nelson Rogers to become so perfect in the instruments. For one person to play guitar perfectly, play keyboard perfectly, he was playing band perfectly, he was singing and he was dancing. Wow, man, I've not seen after we lost him, right? So that is just, here is Elvis performing. The king of rock and roll. He's a man that people enjoyed so much. He was a man that people enjoyed so much. So Elvis caused chaos simply by moving stage. His voice, his dance moves, his looks, his stage charisma. These were the things that people could not withhold. They were even screaming even before he got to stage. You understand? So Elvis was such an amazing man, the king of rock and roll. Right, so before the modern music days, there were great men that did great works. And we moved on. So this is Elvis singing and also performing. Yeah. So Elvis became larger than music. He became an American culture itself. Elvis became an American culture itself. He was larger than music. To an extent, he owned it. Because nobody ever did it like he did it then. Nobody. When people thought Elvis was fading, he even returned stronger, louder, and more ionic. There was a time Elvis, it was as if he was, off the stage, but he came back stronger. He came back, and his comeback was very, very massive. Elvis' comeback was very massive. All right? So, let's check this out. The first interview he had, one of the interviews he had, and he was being questioned. This was his response to myself. I'm just an entertainer, and I do think he was very simple. Let's take it again. Mr. Priscilla, what is your opinion of war protests? But he just said he doesn't want to involve himself in politics, about war protests or whatever. But he just said he's an entertainer, and he also respects every other person's view. Do you understand? He also respects every other person's view. So that is what it is. These were men that set the pace for the musicians today, and a lot of others musicians today owe them so much credit because they were the one that did the job. When there were no good sounds, they were moving. So this was Elvis performing in one of the shows at the time. Billboard. And he said on the stage is Elvis. This was when he came to stage. You could see the crowd, you could see the joy, you could see the happiness, you could see everyone just wanted to. And someone even had to crest her clothes with his name. Wow. This was their kind of advert, the way they advertised at the time, Elvis Presley. So on this channel, we'll be encouraging you people, we'll bring back history. Most of these persons, you may not have come across them. That is why it's history. But you can research after now and you learn more about them too. So that is what it is. Yeah. Going by. And let's drop this again for you guys. This was Elvis' first appearance in TV. His first appearance in TV, and he knocked it down. This event took place. This event took place 1956. That was when this event took place, 1956. The first time he was on stage. He went to stage. Yeah, so this was the first time he appeared on TV, and he became the culture. He then owned the music. From this time, Elvis was no longer mourn him until he died. Yeah, so some of his studio work, these are some of his studio work. The Man in the Room. So when he came in, everyone was just happy. This was in the 90s, Los Angeles. In 1970, Los Angeles. In 1970, as the case may be. And at the time, the rehearsal took them 3 days. And this rehearsal was the rehearsal of his song called That Is All Right. Elvis here was encouraging us that things are actually going to be all right. Even if it doesn't seem like what it is, just be focused and keep moving. Things going to be all right. It's just a matter of time. You know, don't give up on yourself. All things going to be all right. You understand what I'm saying? That's about the struggle, but there are pressures. The crown of superstardom often hides the weight carried behind the curtain. The crown, behind the scene, there are a lot of weights. These men faced pressure, but it is better to be at the top than to be below the floor. It's easier to even accelerate than the struggle down there. So there could be a lot of exhaustion, pressure, health struggles, isolation. Regardless, choose the top. Regardless, choose the top. So it is what it is. And here is some of the king of rock and roll. Yeah, these are the audience filming him with so much excitement, with so much joy, with so much love. So that is just it. This man did great works during their time, and that is why it was a bit easier for the current artists today. You understand? So tell me, put it on the chat box. Put on the chat box. Have you been born? Have you been born during the time of Elvis? Have you been born? Have you been born during the time of Elvis Presley? Have you been born during this time? Put it on the chat. If you have been born during this time. Even I myself, I wasn't born. But I love sharing histories of great people, histories of greatness. You know, that is why I'm picking interest to do this, right? That is why I'm picking interest to do this. So, as time goes on, Elvis also had a blend of gospel. He somehow began to sing gospel songs because, and he did very well. He did very, very well as a gospel artist. You can find out more of that. Yeah, that is one good thing. You see, when you sing, maybe you're an artist now, you've sang some secular music, you can still take a U-turn, you can still make changes, you know, and you can still use that same talent you have in you to praise God, to exalt God, to glorify the name of God. You understand? We don't have any other God. We just have one God. And He is our creator. He created you, He created I. He created my soul. So you can as well decide to move on by using your God-given talent and skills to what? Magnify his name. All right, so Elvis also had some health issues. He had some health challenge. But as time goes by, rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll, rock and roll. Yeah, so he was cherished and loved by the people. He was cherished and loved by the people. So some persons started as gospel artists. They moved into secular. Some persons also moved from secular music to gospel music. And what matters most is, in everything you do, give respect to your maker, God Almighty. You understand, right? So when Elvis passed on, I think this is Donald Trump visiting Graceland. This was the first visit of Donald Trump to Graceland, where Elvis was put to rest. This was Elvis' house. This whole, building was owned by him, and someday he passed on, and that is just it. So this was the first visit of the United President, the United States of America President, Donald Trump, when he visited Graceland. So you've all seen the people that made the industry what it is. Like we said, we had Elvis Presley, and he was also known for what? Clean up your own. He was also known for clean up your own backyard. I think that was one song he made too. So yeah, he was the king of rock and roll, and we are popular with this man, Michael Jackson. He's the most famous, the most popular among them all. All right, and we also have the mastercraft arts that was good in all instruments. His name is Prince Nelson Rogers. So these were the three kings, three legends, three great men that made the music and entertainment industry to be very swift for everyone that has, that is currently benefiting from it. So we have lots of people during their time, but these three actually stand out. They became global icons. They became legend that they are still celebrated till now. That is because they are also known for what? For their humanitarian kindness. So these guys has taught us a lot of things. They've taught us about the depth of how you can be skillful. They've taught us about how you can believe in yourself and you can make it. They've taught us about discipline. They've taught us about determination. They've taught us about consistency. This man has taught us of so many things. So right now, they came from different eras, but together they shaped the soundtrack of human history. They are all from different eras, but together, every one of them set their own marbles. Every one of them made their own different era to be what? Powerful. And they are the one that has collectively shaped the soundtrack of human what? History. So it's very important as we bring this to close. Comment your legend below and follow for more ionic what? Music stories. Follow for more ionic music stories. You understand? So this brings us to the end of this session. Hope to see you guys on our next episode. Cheers.